So all of this is not a teaching. How could you teach all of this? And the word that the me can't hear is already. All is this already, and there's no exceptions. So nothing is excluded. So trying to escape the moment is this. Enjoying the moment is this. Wanting to strangle somebody is this. Because there's only this. There's no you, there's never been a you, and there's not gonna be a you. So there's no one inside that body. There's imagination. So I can imagine I'm a separate entity and I have a life and I'm going somewhere, I'm progressing or I'm backsliding, things aren't going so well. But that's all in story. So that's why there's no escape, because all is this. It's like if all was white, where would you go to escape white? And so that's what seeking is an attempt to escape what's already just this, the simplicity of my voice, the Zoom meeting, your butt on a chair, just literally what's happening. This is the miracle right here. So the miracle is the walls, the miracle is the carpet, the ceiling, the lights, the air, my voice. It's all of it. So that's the wholeness. So that's why feeling separate sucks, because it's simply not true. And so all the me can do is constantly reject this, what is, all that is, just this, in search for an imagination that doesn't even exist. And so that's the hamster wheel. It's this phantom, this mirage that I'm chasing, that one day when I get to, then I will be whole and complete. That's all bullshit. Wholeness was here before these bodies were here. Wholeness is here now, and wholeness will be here after these bodies are gone.
But Michael,
Hi, Ron.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too.
Nothing exists, forget my use of the word me here, but nothing exists without me. Without my consciousness, there's nothing, right?
Well, it's the nothing is not dependent on your consciousness.
Well, I'm not saying it right then.
Okay, you can try again.
I mean, there's only one, and whatever this is that's perceiving it, without that, there's nothing. How would there'd be no experience of anything? So you can't separate whatever this is from everything else.
Correct. Yeah, there's all separation is imagined. But that's the life of the separate me, is I am separate and I have a life. And it's up to me to make this life work out. And that is so painful, such a heavy burden. Simply because it's not true. The wholeness is already the case. It's already here right now. Everything is already whole and complete already. And you guys know that's my favorite word, is already. And the me cannot hear that word. You will not allow already to sink in, because that would be the end of the me business.
This is as it is, and everything else is imagination. Right? Everything is made up in the mind. I mean, except for what is.
Well, your imagination is just happening. You're not doing it.
Yeah, I mean that's part of what is. But, right.
Yeah. Hey, Nkosi, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Michael.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I hope you've all had a chance to listen to the latest Alice and Nkosi audios. Fantastic, stupendous. Put them on your playlist and listen to them. Let them play in the background. You can be vacuuming, clean, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just that old programming that I'm a separate person and I have problems. It's like a groove in a record. And by saying, no, I'm prior to that story. That story was never me.
Your artwork on that cover is just amazing, Michael. When I look at it, I just feel like, wow.
The picture of Nkosi, the
Yeah,
colors, the rainbow.
yeah. On a large display, it looks so wild, you know, because it's so, yeah, it looks great.
Thanks, Peter. Yeah, I really enjoy them because it doesn't give you anything to focus on in particular. It's like an explosion of color. So you can look at it every time and it kind of looks fresh because you'll notice like new colors. And it's kind of a
Right.
little mysterious, but there's still like in Nkosi's eyes and his intensity, the feel in his voice. I love the whole thing.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I think you do an incredible job putting it together. The music, how it's played with the words is incredible. And I know you spent many hours putting that together and many hours making all this possible for us. And we all, I know we all receive such benefit from it, obviously, from your comments. And I just want to thank you for that. And maybe even voice the donation button. I think we sometimes forget this stuff doesn't happen automatically, that there's a lot of work that goes on behind it. And I know you're open for donations. Just
Thank
wanted
you.
to do a little plug for you.
Thank you, Alice.
You're welcome.
Just want to add that I'm working to make French subtitles on those, because I think that the French community would appreciate the one who likes this message. So I'm trying. I've been able to put the French text, but I have to put the right French word with the right English ones. So it takes a bit of a time, but while I'm doing this, I integrate also the message even better. So it's fun. It's just fun for me. So maybe you will see that, but you won't use it. But just wanted to add that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eileen. That's wonderful that it's going to soon be available in French. And I also have to second what Guy is saying about the immersion in the message as you work with it. When I edit and cut and paste and go back and over and just pull, you know, the gems, you can't help but get some of that. You know, if you handle a rose, you touch a rose, some of the scent of the rose will come off on your hands. And so by working with the message and hearing it, because I have to replay it over and over and I make very precise edits, it's permeating. It's like, yes, something in me is yes. And it's like taking a wonderful shower every time. So if you have, and that's resonance. Again, nothing to do with understanding. Throw knowledge, understanding, trying to get this, I'll know it. It's already the case. You're good.
And it's always fresh.
So does someone have an exception to all of this? Something that seems like, yeah, you know, sounds good. I want to believe it. That's, you know, this is the time.
Well, as some of you may know, I've been struggling with pain, and I had worked with Nkosi on pain. And on till this last Saturday night, and re-listening to the posting from Saturday night, I it really occurred to me that this pain and wholeness are the same thing. I had been pushing it away. It was painful, and I even said this teaching doesn't work. It really, just wanting to push it out, and they don't understand, and this is pain. But I had glimmerings of that this week, that they were the same. And when I had the glimmering, it was like the pain decreased substantially. It was totally much more bearable than it became bearable. I don't know how to say it, but anyway, that's all I really have to say, that it's becoming more that everything is wholeness. And I had a session one night with Nkosi about another big issue in my life, and he reminded me of that over and over. And I woke up that next morning, and all I saw was wholeness all over. And it was like, oh my God, this never would have happened in another scene. So it's just beginning to penetrate more that everything is wholeness, and there is nothing apart from that. But I vacillate. Yeah. Thank you. That's all.
Yeah, Nkosi, maybe you can say a few words about wholeness vacillating.
Can you repeat that again? Wholeness.
Well, yeah, Alice, you said the wholeness vacillates, means
Yes.
means comes and goes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, what seems to be happening right now is everything, is wholeness. So really, even the coming and the going is still wholeness. The coming and the going is included in it. You know, and the coming and the going is just an imagination appearing in this wholeness, everything. So it's also included. There is no real separation. So what seems to be happening right now is everything. And it's got nothing to do with an individual, because there's no individual here. It's just everything. So here right now, there's just wholeness appearing as a separate me looking for wholeness. So there's never really a separate me looking for wholeness. It's just wholeness, everything. There can never be someone who's separate from wholeness, or there can never be someone who can talk on behalf of wholeness, because there's only wholeness. There's just everything here. So talking is happening, thinking is happening, confusion is just happening. But no one is thinking, no one is confused. No one is doing anything here. There has never been a doer of anything here. So everything that has been said, everything that has been discussed, is just wholeness doing it. It's got nothing to do with a specific individual. So so the coming and the going is just a thought that appearing in this. So wholeness doesn't come and go. It's always here. There's everything. There is also nothing. So there's no escape. Because really there's no one to escape. There's just everything here. A question arising has got nothing to do with a separate me asking a question. Or has got nothing to do with a separate me looking for wholeness. Because there isn't any separate me here. It's just wholeness. It's just everything. And this spaciousness has got nothing to do with anyone. It's just spaciousness. It's not waiting for someone to get it. Or it has no expectation for anyone to get it. So there isn't anyone talking here. There isn't anyone thinking anything here. There isn't anyone looking for this. And there's no one already to find this, because there's only this. What seems to be a you is already it. There is no it apart from you, and there's no you apart from it. What seems to be a you, a separate you, is already it. So there is no escape here. So this doesn't know a separate me. This doesn't know you as separate. This doesn't know separation. This doesn't know anything. So there's already everything here. When it seems as if there's a separate me asking a question, that's everything asking a question. It's not a separate me. When it seems as if there is a separate me looking for this, that's everything looking. There's no separate me already. So this is not looking for anyone to wake up, because there's no one here to wake up. So there's nothing blocking anyone from getting this, because there's no you already. There's no one already. All there is wholeness. All there is this spaciousness, unconditional love, and it's not personal. And it's not unconditional love for you, because there isn't a you here. There's just this, everything. So already there's no one to wake up here. There's no one to get anything. There's nothing to find here. Because already there isn't a you. There's no separate me. There's just wholeness. It's just everything. A question may arise that says, but I feel separate. That's already wholeness saying that. So it's got nothing to do with you, and it's not personal. And somebody may say, no, I'm getting it. I'm closer. I'm getting closer to getting this.
You don't do it, get it.
So already that's wholeness. There's no separate me who's really saying that.
So is it right to think that you can't be rid of the me, or the me is fundamentally it doesn't really exist, but the me is part of the whole of everything.
So what seems to be a separate me is just this wholeness.
And the wholeness
Already.
is everything.
Yes. And that's everything talking.
And
There's no
nothing
you
else.
who's talking.
Mhm,
Sorry?
mhm.
Yeah. So there's no escape here.
Mhm.
No matter what you can say, no matter what you can do or think, that's already this. There's no you who's doing any of that. It's already nothing looking, nothing searching. It's already nothing asking a question. It's already nothing giving answers. Everything is nothing.
Let me ask you something. I get up in the morning and I feel nervous for some reason of anticipation, let's say, of things that are going to come up during the day or whatever. Isn't that just a fool's errand, just ridiculous? Because how could I be nervous about oneness? Whatever happens is oneness. So why would there even be the sense? What a ridiculous thing to be nervous about something that can only go one way. But I don't want to have that nerve. I don't enjoy the nervousness.
Just arises part of the whole.
It's just what seems to be happening. And it's got nothing to do with you. It's not personal. Whatever that seems to appear, it's not personal. It's got nothing to do with a specific individual. It's just what seems to be happening, including fear, being nervous, shy, angry, frustrated, confused. It's got nothing to do with any separate individuals, because there's no separate individual here. It's just wholeness. That's just what seems to be appearing in this everything. And it's appearing for nothing. So everything is already wholeness. Everything is whole and complete. And this is unconditional freedom, unconditional love. This doesn't choose what to happen. Everything is just happening. Even what seems to be bad or good, it's just happening. It's got nothing to do with you.
Nkosi, the impulse to share the message, okay, that's the wholeness that has the impulse. And then the answer of the response of this impulse is like, oh, contracted energy, like if if wholeness speaks about this message to wholeness, and sometimes it's very it's like it's like I'm not separate, okay, but it's like I should restrain, sharing this message, even though there's no one to decide. But I was speaking today with an old friend, and wow, it's kind of a surprise every time. So I come to these meetings because I love it so much. It's such a relief, to not be in command of the whole thing, but it's an idea that is very strange to apparent people who say it like this. So it's is it wholeness that just want just to share this kind of energy with itself, and then maybe move something in the energy, or and maybe this is not the idea of convincing anyone, but if you want to speak about your life, or you don't have a life, but life as it is felt here now, it's not the same. And it's not, I cannot explain very well, even in French, with other fellows that I used to talk with, because it's very frightening for people right now. So I don't know. I don't decide. So it's wholeness happening, I guess.
More stuff happening. I have a daughter who's 47 years old, unmarried. She's my firstborn, and I really love her. And she's very smart, and she's very much concerned about worldly things, attaining position and feeding herself or me. And I realized I really just have to observe it, because I can't really change anything. It arises in her just like things arise for me. And at some point, well, who knows? So I don't believe you can affect people generally who are so just a normal thing to be glued to their concept of me as a real thing in their mind, creating all that stuff just like I do, but thankfully I'm seeing it more clearly. The hard part is stepping into that awareness all the time.
No, 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 no.
No, well, good. Tell me.
Yeah. So good. That was lovely, Roy. But yeah, you don't. There's no. That's a me, boy. So
One-temper.
yeah, the wholeness is already. That's what's speaking. What just said that is wholeness.
It's like a kind of chemistry, I guess. Like all the energy just goes and fluctuate and creating something new in the whole. I don't know. It's not separate. So something is given, something is not received, just rebound somewhere else. I don't know. But it's all one thing happening. And you know, the impulse to share is the impulse of the whole, and nobody knows what's gonna happen with all of that. It's very, but it's kind of, it's a so new perspective that happens by itself, but it changes. It don't change anything because it was already, like you say all the time, it was already this, but it was already this unseen by this, and then it's seen by this and trying to be shared by this and not received by this. It's I don't know, it's a strange situation.
It just is.
So there is no escape. Whatever may be said or done, a question may arise, answer might be given, and everything is just wholeness. Everything is this already. Someone not getting this is this. Someone getting it's also this. So there's no real separation. There's no me already. So even what seems to be separate me trying to get rid of the me is also this.
Yeah. So the me is in this strange situation that it's always trying to step into the wholeness or trying to get to the me to this, but there's nobody who's believing the me. The me is just this weird attempt to try to become what it already is. But there's nobody who is signing on to that. It's happening, it's showing up as an appearance, but there's no one believing it. There is no one. The separateness doesn't happen. It's an idea that shows up as the me, but there's no one believing the me.
Because the me is already this.
Yeah. That's why we say it's an idea or it's imaginary. but there's no one believing in the imagination because that one has never existed.
Okay.
Right now, it doesn't exist. And
Yeah, like a mirage. A mirage seems to exist. Oh yeah, I see the water on the road. Do you see that little water? Well, as you go up to it, you see it's not really there. So that's why I'm saying if there's a sense of a feeling of a me, I would say don't get hung up on that. So what? Wholeness can feel like a sense of a me. What's the problem?
there's no one being that me. There's just this sense of something showing up. Everything is showing up.
Yeah, the nothing is excluded.
So Ron, when you're talking about waking up and feeling nervous and anxious or whatever, and you say, oh, it's ridiculous. Well, maybe it's ridiculous, maybe it isn't. I mean, it's showing up. So, I mean, who can say? It is what it is. But you're not feeling that. You're not living that. You're not being that. You're being this right now and always, already. And the stories go on and on.
And last week too, Dan, I think one thing we talked about, which is if you're in the human form on any level, because that's this too, right? And so in Ron's case, you could say that's not him or he's not feeling that. But if Ron is feeling certain things, then it's also this to strategically work through that or process that. For example, if we were talking, Ron, and you were telling me about this, I might say something like, before you go to bed at night, visualize yourself waking up and seeing this a rainbow, or seeing an ocean or seeing dolphins jumping. Or as soon as you wake up, I want you to count to 10 with your breathing. Now we can argue that that's talking form to form, but if we're in the form, which is this too, so again, you can't lose. So I think that there's all these bridges that are also kosher, right? They're all usable. So now someone can say, but it's not you, or who's doing that, or who's saying that, and we can always default to that too. But I've found that we have to be aware of this balance. That yes, we ultimately can just say, well, that's the story, that's the me, it doesn't belong to me. But as you keep, Ron, because I know I've heard you over the last couple of years, when you talk about stuff like with your pain, you are feeling it and you are experiencing, at least in form. So I just think it's all also very important to know that that's this too. If there are some things strategically you can do to better your position. So for whatever it's worth, me, I like to always throw that one in there. I always use the same analogy. I point over there to where I meditate, and I always use the same analogy. If I have a choice of meditating over in my room where it's quiet or next to a jackhammer, I'm always going to choose my bedroom unless I really want a severe headache. So that's just choosing. And I think it's important to also think in terms of these bridges back to being, even though we already are in being. Thanks. Hope that helps.
Yeah, it does. I agree with everything you just said. Oh. Yeah, it's paradoxical, all this stuff. But if I feel like the me is real, and I feel like me, then it makes a lot of sense to proceed from that, which is to deal with the situation in so many ways. Because I'm not going to resonate. There's not going to be the resonance with what we're pointing to. So, yeah, I don't know what Michael or Nkosi would say about that, but I agree that what you're saying is important.
Well, actually, Nkosi said something to Alice on the last audio that I think applies to Ron. And Nkosi was pointing out that there's no denial of, so Ron, you were saying a feeling of nervousness in the morning upon awakening. Okay, so there's no disputing that. So exactly the amount of suffering and pain that seems to be arising is exactly as you're experiencing it. No doubt about it. However, Nkosi's instructions to Alice were look for the one who's being victimized. Look for that one. See if you can find the victim of the nervousness. Don't assume. Don't assume there's really someone in there that's a victim.
Mhm. Does it have anything to do with ownership? That there is no one there that owns what's there?
And you can take care of the victim without assuming that there is a victim and that you're the victim. You know, there doesn't need to be a victim for there to be taking care of the victim.
Exactly. You don't need to have a me. If you have a headache, you can still take 2 aspirin. They'll work just as well whether you imagine you're a me or not. Any other comments, questions, concerns, anything you'd like to say before we close out this evening?
Well, I just want to follow up a little on what we were just saying, because again, it's like not either or, it's both and everything. And, you know, what might happen is that, you know, as you absorb and soak in this you know, meeting sort of stuff that we're talking about here, the me stories will become less and less real, and the, you know, the whole me business will just become less real. It won't become realistic the way it is, you know, for the moment. So, but that doesn't mean that, you know, the both of these kind of ways of being or whatever can't go on at the same time. But anyway, that's all I want to say. And ultimately, again, it doesn't make sense. You know, it's a resonating.
Yes.
But if you resonate, you resonate. And
yeah, all is this cannot be figured out. It's like love cannot be figured out.
And the emptiness part too is it. I think it's a great key. The emptiness, you know, it's empty. So, and everything is given from emptiness to emptiness. I don't know, but this part is just wow. It's so freeing, you know. It's difficult to share because everything is thing in the world with people, you know. Everything is something. I have this, I'm doing that, but all the part of the emptiness is unseen, like, but when this part the emptiness is take the front row. I don't know if it's a good way to say it. And it's easier, I guess, to see there is no me. There's nothing that stays, not even a me. It's all, it's dissolved all the time. Everything dissolves. So the emptiness, I think, is a good key to see everything as nothing. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, I don't want to be too long. I'm so excited by this message. I cannot restrain myself.
Okay. Yeah, so that's resonance, right? That's resonance. It's like the emptiness that this body is empty, that this speaking is happening spontaneous is a miracle. And the miracle is everything. So it's not any one particular thing, which is a problem for the me, because the me is living as a particular thing and is looking for some other particular to complete it. And that's never going to happen.
Can it be looked at in a sense as a matter of, I don't like to use the word faith, where in the acknowledgement of the whole and the me as just part of that, and the me is not really of any substance other than just a thought, that, well, I don't know about that, but in following through with the understanding, the faith of understanding, then the result in your life becomes manifest. The manifestation of this wholeness, and it, in a sense, hinges on taking that step. I hate to say that either, because that's like a story too, but that in embracing this that what manifests is something that, again, is beyond description, but it's in the right, I don't know how to say it, because I don't think there is a description, but you know inside that you're seeing, maybe the first time in your life, what it is. So that's what I have to say now. Another thing, I was really personal in talking about my daughter, and I'm thinking one day, because she's very smart and she's pursuing these things. She's very young too. She's 47. I think one day she's going to stumble upon this. And I'm thinking maybe I should ask you to edit that part out, because I don't know if it would be appropriate. But maybe that's not even a proper question or a request. And whatever you decide would be fine with me.
Okay, yeah. Not sure how I could do that.
Okay, well, just leave it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because if you really are on the right track and you understand what's going on, you're going to see right through that and beyond it. Yes, you would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no need to take any action. I just said that because it came right through my head. Next time I'll be more prudent.
You can't go wrong.
Right.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
It's all wholeness. Left, right, center, back, forward, only wholeness.
Right.
Even what looks like a wrong move, it's just an appearance.
Right. Acknowledged. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming. Each and every one of you. It's been a joy. Nkosi, brother, as always, thank you so, so much. Good night, everyone.
Right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.